So now we are moving on to our next session, on the last session for the day on the doctor's talk. Dr. Anish Chandrana has already joined us. I'll quickly request the coordinator for this session, CA Nikita Paryani, to introduce the topic and the faculty as well. Thank you.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Nikita.
Good morning, members, families, and friends. Thank you for joining us and helping us make Movement 73 a historic feat. I hope you and your family are healthy and safe. With the whole world battling the pandemic and its after effects, it forces us to think about our lifestyle and choices. On this beautiful Sunday morning, we have all gathered here to understand the impact of our lifestyle and habits on our health. With technology making everything convenient each day, we have pushed ourselves into a sedentary lifestyle. More so since major part of our last year, we have been confined to our homes because of COVID. While we battle the pandemic, it has also heightened the risk of other problems like body aches, neck pain, stress, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, etc. Our day-to-day habits have all contributed to these causes. But don't sweat. We have invited an expert on this matter to help us understand how small steps of change can help us improve our lifestyle. I am pleased to introduce Dr. Anish Chandrana, a leading cardiologist of SIMS Hospital in Ahmedabad. He has been a clinical cardiologist and cardiovascular interventionist since 1999. He also imparts education to students and practicing doctors, which helps them update their knowledge. He has devoted a part of his life in creating awareness amongst people regarding prevention of cardiovascular diseases through lifestyle improvements. I now request Dr. Anish Chandrana to enlighten us on how to lead a healthier and balanced life and take appropriate precautions during COVID.
Thank you. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah, so at the beginning, I would like to extend my heartfelt compliments and sincere thanks to Mr. Harit Dhariwala, Dr. Anjali Choksi, and the entire Chartered Accountant Association for getting me on this board on this beautiful morning. And in fact, there are hardly few groups which have done so robust activity in terms of fitness and happiness as you all are doing through Movement 73. So it's wonderful because I personally believe there is nothing which is more important than bringing some hope, happiness, and fitness to the lives of people. So you all are doing that wonderful job. And I'm pretty sure in next 20, 30 minutes, we'll discuss all those relevant, practically important points which will inspire you to change your life from today itself and how to take forward so that you can live not only a fit life, but also a happy life. I think I have my screen sharing rights. Yes. So you can, I'm sure you all are able to witness my presentations. And what I've been asked to speak today for 25, 30 minutes is current lifestyle and health related issues. So you all are those people, maybe youngsters, maybe middle-aged, maybe senior citizens, but all of you who are witnessing this program, who are part of this program, are the people who want not only to add years to the life, but you all are desirous to add the life to the years. Because I'm pretty sure just adding on years to the life doesn't make a sense unless you can add the life to the years. So it's all happiness and fitness. Somebody before 25 years asked me a question that, Anish, I know that you have been exercising, you have been playing, you are keeping very fit. Do you believe there is something which is more important than fitness? And I answered very happily, yes, it is the happiness. So the ultimate goal of fitness is to create the happiness. Somebody who is not happy even at the end of everything, perhaps he or she is losing something from life. But I personally believe fitter you are physically and mentally, you become happier. So let's go ahead. Now, a very important point, sometimes all these fitness talks are associated to the length of life. It is good that, yes, we are fit, we'll live longer. But sometimes people who have got certain religious and spiritual bent, they do ask a question, कि भाई इतना लंबा जीने का फायदा क्या? क्या इतना लंबा जीना चाहिए? And if you go to the Indian ancient literature, our Rishi Munis were great scientists They observed the human life and the life on this planet and the entire Mother Nature so carefully, and they came out with certain important conclusions. So what has been mentioned in Upanishad is, yes, a man should live 100 years and should keep a desire to live 100 years. If it goes in Sanskrit, Shatam Kurvannavehe Karvani Shatam Jivaha Samaha. So what did the Rishi Muni say? That you all should desire to live 100 years, but then terms and conditions apply. You all are chartered accountants, so you know that today is the world where we always keep terms and conditions apply. And the Rishi Munis of that era also said that terms and conditions apply. Kurvannavehe Karmani Sat Karma Karte Karte. So life has no meaning if we cannot keep on performing good karmas for self and for the society. So that is what we all know that. But one thing which is very important, many a times I go to such fitness seminars and then I ask questions to all those youngsters that what are the tips to live a healthy and fit life? And they come out with the tips which are even sometimes much more than what I'm going to talk. So biggest issue in today's life for most of the humans, हमारे सब के लिए सबसे बड़ी समस्या है इन सब सूचनों को, इन सब इंफॉर्मेशन को अपनी लाइफ में एग्जीक्यूट और इंटीग्रेट कैसे करें. So the mindset or the mental condition of all of us is something and quite synonymous with the mental condition of Duryodhana. Most of you have seen Mahabharata on television or you have read Mahabharata. That's where one question is asked to Duryodhana. That Duryodhana, you don't know a very important fact that Pandavas are your brothers. And if you can give them at least 5 villages, you can avoid the world war. That was sort of a very important world war. And we all know that disastrous effects of war. So when that question was asked, Duryodhana replied that, yes, I know that. And that goes in Sanskrit like, Janami dharmam, nacha me pravrutti, janami adharmam, nacha me nivrutti. What he said is, I know what I should do, but I cannot do. And he also said and added that I know what I should live, but I cannot live. So as far as adopting exercise, as far as adopting healthy lifestyle is concerned, or as far as living certain bad things or bad habits is concerned, we all know that what is good and what is bad. But perhaps the $1 million question is how to execute them. And that's where I'm very sure Movement 73 like sessions and periods would make us execute all these important implications to life. Now, what lifestyle is and what are the diseases which are produced or they are just of a bad lifestyle. If you look to this data from WHO, World Health Organization, they said that every year, this many number of deaths are happening purely because of these reasons. And look at them. Poor sanitation and hygiene leads to close to 1,500 deaths across the world in a year. Excess of alcohol, physical inactivity, high body mass index because of the sedentary life and excess of nutrition or calories, lack of fruit and vegetable intake, unsafe sex, underweight, high level of cholesterol, which is quite contributed by bad lifestyle, tobacco consumption, purely a bad lifestyle phenomenon, and high blood pressure, which is also contributed by a bad lifestyle. If you put them, these are almost preventable causes of death. So this many number of people on this beautiful planet die on a yearly basis because of something which we can prevent as an individual, as a society. So that is very, very important. In today's world, we know that we are discussing COVID a lot, and that's important. And in COVID era, almost every pharmaceutical company has come out with something called as immunity booster. Almost everybody is talking about take a vitamin, take an immunity drug, immunity pill. I personally believe immunity is not something which can be bundled up in a small pill. Immunity is the way you live. Immunity is the way you deal with your body, mind, and spirit. When ex-president of US, Mr. Obama, was throwing a health scheme for the country, he wrote a letter to Mr. Dean Ornish. Mr. Dean Ornish has been a wonderful scientist, epidemiologist, clinician who has done multiple research how to prevent hypertension, diabetes, and heart disease. So at that time, Mr. Barack Obama wrote a letter to Dean Ornish, and to that letter he replied, and part of his reply is I have mentioned here. What he wrote is wonderfully important, and that is all synopsis of what is lifestyle and how the immunity can be generated to various disease, not only to COVID or infectious disease, but also against blood pressure, heart attack, stroke. What he wrote was what we eat, how much we exercise, whether or not we smoke, how we respond to stress, and the quality of our relationship and social support may be as powerful as drugs and surgery in treating and preventing heart disease. And let me tell you, these 5 points narrates almost everything about what is the ultimate goal of lifestyle. And he further added, we don't have to wait for a new breakthrough in drugs or surgery. We just need to put into practice what we already know. This has been known by all the sciences across the globe. All the humanities, all the cultures which have evolved have taken care of this, what to eat, what not to eat, exercise, yoga, pranayam, no smoking, no tobacco, how to control stress, and a very important point is social support and relationship. We all need to put them into right perspective. Now we all know that we all are suffering from COVID. Either we or our family members have suffered from this disease, or at least we are in the world where we feel too much uncertainty because of this disease. Let's look at the statistics. I'm pretty sure you all are chartered accountants, so you are much more clearer in figures as compared to we all doctors are. If you look to the number of cases which are COVID declared in India, and this is maybe before 1 or 2 days, so needs little updating, but 1.6 crore are the number of people who have suffered from COVID in India so far. Maybe you say that there is some misreporting, ill reporting, lack of testing, etc. Whatever you put, it can go to 2 to 3 or 4 times higher than this. And look at the number of deaths. A huge number of people have died, close to 2 lakh. Again, if you put in other elements, it can be 2 to 3 times higher. Now, this is the number of people who suffer the disease, and this is the number of people who have died. Put the heart disease against that. In India, in today's date, 6 to 8 crore people suffer from heart disease. And if you put the number of deaths caused because of heart disease every year is 2.5 million. So the number is 10 times higher than the number of deaths produced by COVID. I don't say that you don't give importance to COVID. COVID is extremely important. We have to save ourselves and our families and societies. But the damage which COVID has done is much inferior to the damage which heart disease causes. Or let me put in other words, the heart disease, the potential and the reality of heart disease as far as causing complications, disease and death in the society is concerned is 5 to 10 times more than COVID. Maybe we believe and we are hopeful by next 2 to 4 years, world will win over COVID. But I'm very sure for next 30 years, world is not going to win over heart disease. So that is the importance of heart disease or heart related disease, and we have to be careful. Now in COVID era, it has become doubly important to protect the patients from heart disease. Why? The reason is very clear. We all know that those people who have got some kind of heart disease or some comorbidities, that is diabetes, high blood pressure, weak heart attack, those who undergone bypass or angioplasty surgeries, they are the people who have got highest risk of acquiring COVID. Not only that, in today's date, what we as cardiologists we have seen in the last 1.5 years is out of all heart disease patients, 50% plus do not go to their doctors regularly because of the fear of COVID. And that's why they are not on proper medications. They are not on proper lifestyles. So again, they have high risk of dying and having complication of heart disease itself. So this COVID in last 1.5 years have very negatively impacted the cardiovascular health of people. Now, before 20 years, it was predicted by WHO that by 2020, half of all heart patients in the world will be from India. So India are almost 20% of the world population. So whatever the disease or whatever the problem, if we have, we should have to the tune of 20% of the world. But here, what was predicted by WHO is, as far as heart disease is concerned, India would harbor 50% patients, and that is the story today. If somebody asks you, which is the country which has got the highest number of heart disease patients, unfortunately, it is our motherland, India. If somebody asks you, which is the country with highest risk of diabetes or highest number of people with diabetes, again, unfortunately, it is Mother India. So these are serious problems. And if you look to the statistics, perhaps the situation is as worse or even maybe worse than what it is for COVID today. We are not able to provide good care to all the COVID patients today as a country and as a society. I'm pretty sure we don't have facilities, we don't have visions, we don't have ideas to provide good care to all the patients who have got heart disease. Our data says hardly 20% people who have got heart disease do get optimum or good care. Rest 80% people are not either getting any treatment, or if they get treatment, it is quite suboptimal. And that is leading to huge number of complications and death. Now, what is health? If you go to WHO, it has given a very comprehensive definition that health is not a negative statement. Health is not just a mere absence of disease, but it's a positive state of physical, mental, social well-being. And since we are in the conference and we are in the world of 21st century conference of chartered accountant, let me add that we should also have a sense of happiness as far as economical aspects are concerned. That will compromise a whole health. So it's a presence of some positive state at a level of physics, at a level of mind, at a level of economics, at a level of social aspects. Now, if you go back to again our Indian ancient literature and Indian spirituality, what was the definition of health given by Indian spirituality and Rishiminis was health is purity of body, mind and spirit. Look at the beauty of definition. यदि आपका शरीर, यदि आपका मन और यदि आपका प्राण पवित्र है तो आप स्वस्थ हो। और हमारे जो ऋषि मुनि थे उनको ये भी पता था कि यदि आपको शरीर, मन और प्राण को पवित्र रखना है तो उनको पवित्र खुराक देनी पड़ेगी। We need to feed ourselves with pure things. It's not only feeding body, but we need to feed our mind and spirit also, so that we can achieve purity in thought, speech and action. जब हर इंसान का कर्म, जब हर इंसान की भाषा और जब हर इंसान का विचार पवित्र हो जाएगा, आई एम वेरी श्योर स्वर्ग धरती पे आ जाएगा। Now, combining that ancient wisdom and modern science, we have got certain parameters to understand how the health is. So to understand the health of body, we know that we need to give good food to body, we need to do exercise, and there are certain parameters by which we can measure the health of body. Like ideal weight, it has been discussed to you by so many health experts, BMI, the body fat percentage, muscle mass, various sizes, etc. We know that we need to feed pure food to mind also, and how the mind should be. The mind should be strong, stable, neutral, sharp, and equanimous. And there is a pure food for mind that is in terms of thought, reading, satsang, prayer, meditation, etc. And same goes for the spirit. When this beautiful actress came for her second innings through movie Nach Baliye, she looked majestically graceful. Maybe I might have some bias for her, joke apart, but she danced very well. And when she was asked a beautiful question by a journalist, Mrs. Nene, what is the secret of your success? And she replied 6 important things which are important even for all of us. Eat plenty of salads, keep regular hours, no fat diets, listen to your body signals. Very, very important point. Don't ever overindulge into anything and make exercise a habit. So if you all want to achieve a good health from various perspectives, we know we need to understand what are the risk factors. When we go to establish a business, we know that what are the risk factors for a given business. Similarly, these are the risk factors for heart and your body. They are like smoking or tobacco consumption, stress, high blood pressure, sedentary lifestyle, obesity, diabetes, and high cholesterol. In addition to, there are 3 factors which are risk factors for heart disease, but they are not modifiable. That is aging process, you can't modify perhaps, the genetics, the inheritance which you have, and the male gender. Men have more chance of heart attack, at least up to the age of 55 as compared to females. So you cannot modify them. But what is seen on your screen are all the modifiable factors as far as heart disease is concerned. So number 1, blood pressure is a silent killer. You don't know you have got high blood pressure. Many people ask us, doctor, I don't have symptoms, but in 90% of the cases, blood pressure may be there, high blood pressure may be there, and still a person may not have symptoms. In majority, the first symptom of high blood pressure is either heart attack, stroke, or death. And that's why it is called as a silent killer. What is ideal blood pressure? Less than 130/80. That is now a cutoff line. Previously, it was less than 140, the upper one, less than 90, the lower one. Now the definition has changed. Your blood pressure has to be less than 130/80. If you cross that, you are considered as sort of a person with high blood pressure. Only way to know your blood pressure is regular check. You cannot know it by symptoms. So anybody and everybody who is more than 18 years should get blood pressure checked every 3 to 6 months. That is something which is tipped. So know your numbers. Your blood pressure has to be less than 130/80. Diabetes, again, is a second silent killer. You need to know what should be your fasting sugar, what should be your 2 hours post-lunch sugar, and what should be something called as your 3 months average sugar indicator. So your fasting sugar should be less than 110. Your post-lunch sugar 2 hours after should be less than 140. So this is how you have to target. And sugar control is very important. I'm very happy that something on sugar was discussed when I joined this particular seminar. Good point. And somebody was talking that sugar is not essential for life. That is a right fact. Let's touch the facts and figures of cholesterol. There are a lot of myths about cholesterol because we know in today's world, the largest, most attended university is WhatsApp University, and there is no control on that. It can keep on giving you everything good and bad. So there are 5 different types of fats in your blood, and 4 of them are bad, 1 is good. So the total cholesterol should be less than 150. A very bad cholesterol, that is called as LDL cholesterol, should be less than 75, while a good cholesterol, that is HDL cholesterol, should be more than 50. So you can remember only 3 things: total cholesterol less than 150, LDL, which is a bad cholesterol, less than 75, and good cholesterol more than 50. Again, there is no way to know whether my cholesterol is normal or abnormal, except for the fact that you get it checked by blood test. So fasting blood test for cholesterol is must every year for anybody who's more than 18 years. If you are less than 18 years, and if you have got a strong family history of heart disease or cholesterol, even at the age of 8 or 9 years, you need to get your cholesterol checked. So it's a myth कि मैं 45-50 का हो जाऊंगा, फिर हेल्थ चेकअप करवाऊंगा या करवाएंगी, तभी कोलेस्ट्रॉल देखेंगे. It's a myth. 18 years, you must get cholesterol and sugar checked every year. Obesity is unfortunately not recognized as a disease in Indian society. It was considered just a cosmetic problem till before last 10 years. But now with more awareness, we know that obesity is the mother of variety of disease, not only blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol, but a lot of issues of liver, gallbladder, sleep issues, mental issues, cancers, bone muscle issues. So it's very important that we control fat. Now, when we discuss about heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, we need to understand that it's only perhaps the human race on this Mother Earth who gets all this disease to this tune. If you look to all these animals surrounding you, monkeys, elephants, horses, rhinos, and boars, a very common and important fact about them is none of them die because of heart attack. Very unusual to believe. It's very, very difficult to believe that none of them dies because of heart attack. And there are many differences between these animals and humans. One of them is all of them are vegetarian. All of them are vegetarian. So vegetarianism is the future way to live life. Again, it's a different topic. We won't touch much, but they are vegetarian. Second important point, none of them eat sugar. None of them eat salt. None of them eat fat. This is very important. See, humans are doing so many things because scientists went on to define why all these animals do not get heart attack and why humans, and there were 200 points of differences. And few of them this. Their cholesterol is checked. What is the cholesterol, total cholesterol of an elephant? It is less than 80 milligram per deciliter, while humans have 200 and 250. So there is something which is going wrong here, and that is all this lifestyle related. We all know that human race took 2.5 million years to become a 2-legged animal from 4-legged animal. And if you look to the history of last 25 to 50 years, again, a human is almost losing all the legs and limbs. We have acquired a habit of sitting on the sofa, looking at television, eating variety of junks, no exercise. And that's why the heart disease is going haywire. So in our term, it is said that we Indians are genetically prone for heart disease as compared to rest of the people on this earth. And the way we live is disastrous. And that's why the sentence which has been coined is genetics load the gun and environment triggers the button as far as heart attack in India is concerned. So a little bit about diet, exercise, and mental health. Let me touch on for everything 2-3 minutes. So I personally believe, and what is important is not to become extremist as far as diet is concerned. One should eat variety of foods. There are people who say that I only eat mug. There are people who say that I only eat mung and kakra. No, that is not the way to live life. You should eat variety of foods so that you get a healthy overall diet. Your body weight is optimized. Your cholesterols are optimized. Your blood pressure is optimized. There is good data on this earth that consumption of fat, fruits, vegetables, fish, and sodium is linked to your heart health. So if you take more saturated fat, your heart health is going to go down. But if you take unsaturated fat, your heart health is going to go up. Fruits and vegetables in abundance will help your heart health. Fish on a regular basis, those who are fish eaters, is good for heart, and lower the sodium, as we were discussing for sugar, lower the sodium and sugar, better the health of heart. So how to get all this? A very important point, you have to not only eat a lot of fruits and vegetables in your daily life, but also give a very important place to nuts and whole grains. Just baseline concept. I'm not a nutritionist or dietitian, so that I cannot prepare a whole menu of what to eat, what not to eat. But a very important point, ladies and gentlemen, A calorie is a calorie. So somebody who wants to put up weight has to consume more calorie, and somebody who wants to lose weight has to reduce caloric input. That is as simple as that. Many people keep struggling. I don't want to reduce my food intake, but give me, doctor, some time of day during which I can eat so that my weight doesn't go up and I reduce the weight. Doctor, give me some kind of food. I don't want to reduce calorie, but that can reduce my weight. So dear friends, there is no easy way. It's calorie is a calorie. Every calorie you eat, you have to pay the cost for, whichever the source may be. A very important point for fat is quality is more important than quantity. We have kept on talking that cut out fat, cut out fat, cut out fat. No, gentlemen and ladies, it's not necessary to cut out fat. You need to eat in a balanced way, but eat more good fat. Carbs, which was discussed, carbs quality is equally important as quantity. So you have to have a limited quantity of carbs, but very important is you should not take simple carbs. What is simple carbs? When you put something to your tongue which tastes sweet is a simple carb, while a carb which doesn't taste sweet is a complex. So all grains and legumes, they are complex carbs. That is where you have to eat. That is what somebody was talking about oat. So oat is a complex carb. A Mediterranean diet, which is if you look to the ancient Indian culture, a traditional Indian diet is quite resembling Mediterranean diet. That is where it has been good data that it reduces risk of heart attack, cancer, and brain disease. What is that? High amount of legumes, cereals, fruits, nuts, and vegetables. Again, fish is good for those who are fish eaters. A good fat, mufa, that comes from fish and nuts should be taken. Moderation of alcohol for those who have a habit of taking alcohol. Low meat and meat products and low dairy products. So when you combine all this into your nutrition, you are going to have a wonderful time. Somebody was asking about coffee and tea. Let me tell you, maximum 2 cups of coffee per day is something which can be not dangerous. When you exceed 2 cups of coffee, you are entering in an unknown zone. It can be dangerous for you. While tea is good for your health because it is rich in flavonoids, reduces cholesterol, and reduces risk of blood pressure and heart disease. But what you should eat is, what you should take is green tea. When you add full fat milk to tea, almost all benefits are lost. And as was well discussed, when you add sugar to your tea, it makes it a toxin. So take green tea on a regular basis, that can help you. A question which has been asked to me on 30 times a day, whichever patient comes to my chamber, always ask me a question, sir, which oil is good? कौन सा तेल खाए जो अच्छा है? मैं उनको बोलता हूं, भैया आपका क्वेश्चन गलत है. कौन सा तेल खाए अच्छा है वो नहीं, कितना तेल खाए वो अच्छा है वो सोचो. So it's very important to restrict the amount of oil, 20 grams per day, and then you come to a point that which oil, then you have to keep changing oils. Now, how the oils are defined? Less the saturated fat, oil is considered good. More the mono and polyunsaturated fat, oil is good. So mustard oil stands as number 1 because it has got least amount of saturated fat and maximum mono and poly. So these are the oil charts, but then most important point is 20 grams per day. So that comes to 600 grams per month and 7.2 kg per year. So यदि गुजरात के लोगों को डिब्बे की परिभाषा में बात करें तो एक डिब्बा जो 14-15 किलो का होता है, that one dibba should be sufficient for husband and wife for 1 year. Now that is something where you need to calculate and come to some conclusion what you have been doing. Fast food leads to fast heart attack and fast death. What is fast food? Fast food is food which doesn't give you vitamins, minerals, amino acids, proteins, and fibers. It gives you just sugar and salt. That's where you have to control them very importantly. So we need to abandon what is called as TV cola culture, and we need to accept a balanced diet and exercise. So just a nutshell of diet is take adequate water, take daily breakfast, eat variety of foods, not only just one kind of food, minimize use of sugar, sweets, caffeinated drinks, and dairy products. Obviously, those who are lovers of some favorite dish, somebody says, I like sweets, somebody says, I like sometimes pizza, pasta. I'm pretty sure a single serving of 50 to 75 grams of something you can take, but I personally believe terms and conditions apply. You can take it on a daily basis, but terms and condition is you take it only on the days you exercise for 70 minutes and try to take it in the earlier part of the day, not later part of the day. A very important point which most of the nutritionists keep on talking, and specifically Rujuta Devekar, is eat what is traditional, what is local and seasonal. Remember these 3 words, and I'm very sure it will help you to decide what to eat, what to not. The principle of Jainism, which was discussed by President, and that is I personally believe is extremely important. Take your major caloric input between sunrise to sunset. That is the best time during which proper digestion happens. And perhaps the most important point is whatever you eat with pleasure, eat with peace, and eat in silence. That is somewhere the food will become God. Because India is the only land where people had thoughts that food is God. Annavahi Brahmaha. So this is the land where we know that food is good. It's very important that it's not only food, but it is also exercise we need to add to our life to make it happy. What is fitness? See, I mean, there are many definitions of fitness existing on this earth. In medical term, fitness is something when your all body systems work well. Say, for example, if your muscles, bones, your stomach, your brain, your eyes, your ears, your heart, they all work well and efficiently, you are fit. But I'm pretty sure that is not the way fitness is achieved. There is something else, and I personally believe that is one should be called as physically fit if one has ability to carry out his daily task with a lot of vigor, alertness, and enthusiasm. So if you are a chartered accountant, if you are working for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, you should be able to do that with a lot of alertness, lot of energy, and without fatigue. At the same time, you should have ample energy left to enjoy your leisure time pursuits. शाम को आप पढ़ना चाहते हो, कोई इंसान खेलना चाहता है, आप जिम में जाना चाहते हो, talking with family, reading something, doing prayer, etc. You should get enough energy left with you and to meet unforeseen emergencies. रात को कोई emergency आ गई तो हम उठ के बैठ के भाग के खड़े होके उसको टेकल करने के लिए तैयार होने चाहिए. This is what is called as fitness, and I personally believe fitness is derived based on how do you deal with your body and mind. So what is exercise regime for an Indian? You have to work for exercise at least 50 to 70 minutes on a daily basis, at least 5 to 6 times a week. It's not 3 to 5 times a week like Americans. We Indians need to exercise at least 5 to 6 times a week. Divide your time between cardio exercise, resistance training or muscle building exercise, something for your core and abs, stretching and pranayama. And do at moderate intensity. Sometimes the intensity which you can do depends on how well you are trained and what is overall the heart, lungs, bone and muscle status of your body. A very important point is you should have a warm-up time and cool-down time. Don't start running at a speed of 12 kilometers from moment one. Keep yourself adequately hydrated. Don't do exercise with absolutely empty stomach, as well as don't do exercise when your stomach is full. So when you go in exercise for morning, just have something, a cup of milk or maybe a banana or maybe some dry fruits. Be very careful about warning signs. When you exercise, if you develop undue fatigue, if you develop chest tightness, if you develop soreness of muscles, if you get a lot of perspiration, which is disproportionately high, if you get headache, low head, heaviness in the head, you have to stop because sometimes it can hurt you. And don't do exercise when you have got some mild illness, viral illness, something. No, don't do it. It is dangerous. So there are basically two kinds of exercise. One is cardio, which is called as endurance training. So you can do anything, walking, jogging, cycling, swimming, rowing, etc., etc. A very important point is select the safe and monitored ambience. Safe is like, see, we go for cycling. I personally believe Ahmedabad has no facilities for a safe cycling on the roads. So you have to be very careful on those fronts because we do see people who have history of fall while cycling, who have bad accidents. So be careful. And those who are more than 50 years of age or those who have got past history of blood pressure, diabetes or heart disease, it's better they do exercise in monitored ambience. They go to some gym where some kind of monitoring is possible. A very important point is health checkup before starting an exercise program is must and needed. The another kind of exercise is strength training or resistance training or muscle building training. Now, previously, most of us used to believe that it's only the endurance training which is needed, but now science is very clear. All of us, including anybody from 14 years to 90 years, whether men or women, all of them do need muscle training at least 2 times a week. Because better the muscle, less the chance of heart attack, less the chance of diabetes, and there is a better quality of life. Your muscles are your waste baskets. So when you have got more grown-up muscles, your chance that you will tolerate metabolic waste goes higher and your body health improves. But again, as I talk to you, it's very important to have a health checkup before that. In India, most of us are not overweight, but what is important is our lean body mass is less. We Indians are called as thin, lean, fatty Indians. So even if an Indian may be weighing 60 kg, but out of this 60 kg, bone and muscle mass is less, while fat is more. So that's why the disease, diabetes and heart attack is so much. Somebody says, I don't want to go to endurance training. I don't want to go to resistance training. Is there something? I personally believe Surya Namaskar is something which is a wholesome of exercise. It takes care of everything, core, muscles, pranayam, stretching, breathing, everything. So you can go just on Surya Namaskar and your life can be easy. So basically, yoga has become a fashion in last 20 years, rightly so, but it's very important that we need to understand there are 8 elements of yoga. It's not only the asanas or physical exercise. And that's where your total health comes into. The exercise does so many other things in addition to giving good heart and good lungs and good muscle and bone. It improves your muscle performance. It gives you good balance and posture, stability, neuromuscular coordination, and overall your life becomes better and happier. And a new sentence has been coined in last 10 years, and that is based on data of more than 2 lakh patients in people in Australia. Sitting is smoking. When you keep sitting for hours and hours together, your risk of death increases in dose-dependent fashion. And that is somewhere we as professionals need to take a message from. Many of us who are doctors, or maybe I personally believe in many chartered accountants, we keep on sitting on our chair for maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. That's wrong. So every 10 to 20 minutes, you get up from the chair, make few rounds in your office. Maybe you can stare down one staircase or climb up one staircase. Do some activity for 1 or 2 minutes and come back to your office again. So every 15 to 20 minutes, stand up, do something, stretch yourself and come back. That is the way to live a better and healthy life. There are many questions pertaining to exercise. Generally, people ask me, number one, do I need to do vigorous exercise? When you see people, when you see Tiger Shroff, Hrithik Roshan, you feel to make muscles. That's good, inspiring. But to get health benefit in terms of blood pressure, diabetes, what you need to do is just moderate exercise. And that equates to sort of 4 to 5 kilometers walking in an hour. So if you walk 5 kilometers in an hour, or those who are senior citizens, 4 kilometers in an hour, it gives you almost all benefits. Now, beyond that, if you exercise more, you will get more benefits, but most of the benefits are achieved by just doing moderate exercise. Many people and professionals do ask me a question, Doctor, I don't have 1 hour at a stretch. I'm a busy professional. Can I exercise 10 to 15 minutes, 3 to 4 times a day? Answer is yes. You get the equal benefits. Even if you exercise 5 times in a day, every time 10 minutes. So what I've advised so many of my doctor friends is, in your chamber after 2 to 3 hours, once you are finished with certain number of patients in outdoor department, then for 10 minutes, you shut down your office and do something. You do some push-ups, you do some squatting, you do some mountain climbers, whatever. It's very easy to do squat. So you do that, 2, 3 push-ups, 4 push-ups, whatever, based on your capacity, maybe few mountain climbers, and that will give you a kick. That will push your BMR, that will reduce your obesity and reduce risk of heart disease. As I talk to you, it's important to understand warning signs and stop there. The risk of exercise is there, but that's why you need to get health checkup done and should be done in monitored atmosphere and slowly keep on going up in exercise. Exercise not only gives you physical benefit, but it also gives you a lot of mental and spiritual benefit. Your overall energy and strength increases, you sleep better, your body look improves, your body language improves. It is a very good stress buster and your self-confidence goes up. So those who do regular exercise, I'm pretty sure, look at them, all of them would have all this, and that is something which is boon of God. But the biggest point as I talk to you is implementation. Every morning my brain tells me to exercise, and then my body laughs. अरे आज ठंडी है, आज सोए रहो, आज बारिश है, रास्ते गीले हैं, आज बहुत गर्मी है. So all these excuses, no excuses should be there. Everyday exercise must be there. It's little unfortunate that many professionals, in spite of having adequate education and information, keep using tobacco in various forms and keep indulging into excess of alcohol. Smoking and tobacco is the most serious, most crime you can do to your body and mind. So smoking and tobacco should be avoided by all means. Now, alcohol, there are a lot of myths about alcohol, but let me tell you, if you can be without alcohol ever in life, that is the best status. But those who say that, no, alcohol is a habit to me, science says that maximum once to twice a week, 60 to 80 mLs of sort of whiskey or vodka, that is where one has to stop. Obviously, we need to follow the rules of the land. In Gujarat, we cannot do that. But alcohol helps the health is a misnomer. It's not the fact. Science is very clear that alcohol to Indians do not help their health. But those who cannot avoid 60 to 80 mLs twice a week with healthy biting, that's something which is at max. Because alcohol in moderation is such a slippery slope that very few people can navigate it well. And that's why there are so many disadvantages to alcohol. So it's always better to be away from alcohol. No training of body alone is sufficient. Mind matters the most. And that's why to achieve anything and everything, may it be fitness or happiness, mind has to be trained. And mind has to be made strong, sharp, stable, positive, pure, and equanimous. Let me tell you, I will go beyond allopathic science. All these viral diseases, including COVID, 50% role is role of fear. When you have fear of disease, disease comes to you. Fear attracts the disease. May it be viral disease, may it be heart disease. And that's why to have a fearless state is extremely important. Believe me, ask many of your people who have passed through COVID, and few of them will surely say that we had fear and panic of disease, and that's why they attracted. So fear is an unwritten, unseen invitation to disease, and that's why we should be fearless. But it doesn't mean we should be careless. There is a difference between to be fearless and careless. We have to be always careful, but fearless. And that's where mental training is important. In 21st century, stress is the killer of mind. Stress is very subjective. Something which can be a stress to me can be happiness to you. Say, for example, if I have to go to Rajkot, drive for 200 plus kilometers, it can be a stress to me. While my son who is young, he would say, get me a good car, father. Let me have a cup of coffee, and then I'll drive to Rajkot. It will be the most pleasant time of my life. So stress is quite relative, quite individual, but the most important point is we need to adapt to stress. And this chart will help you to understand what is adaptation to stress. On this axis, it is performance and health. On x-axis, it is stress and adrenaline. So within certain physiological limit, as the stress increases, your performance improves. And that is what we all need to do that, because we all are professionals, we are young. Unless we take some stress, unless we make our adjustment to stress, we cannot deliver to the society and to self and family. So we need to understand that we have to increase the stress within certain limits. But then there comes a point which is called as eustress. So when you achieve eustress, you can make a notice of that now further increase in stress, now further devoting more time, now further working harder than this is not improving my performance. And then a point comes where if you still keep increasing stress and exertion, your health and results come down. So you need to understand your eustress point, and that can be different for different people. Somebody can have this point much elevated, somebody can have this point much lower. Yes, you have to try to take this point little up, but mind well, you have to understand what is eustress. Once you are in stress, it gives you a lot of bad things. Hard to sleep, headache, body ache, smoking, drinking, overeating. One gets very angry, easily upset. And that's where the whole essence of life is to convert our stress into pleasure. Negativity is the killer of mind. And in today's world, I'm pretty sure that is something which is killing everyone, because negativity enters your mind without your knowledge. If you come to me, you are very thirsty, it's a summer afternoon, you say to me, doctor, give me a glass of water, I'm extremely thirsty. I give you a glass of water. And then when you are just about to drink that glass of water, I just make a statement. My dear friend, I have put 2 drops of poison in that water. I'm pretty sure not only will drink that water, but you will get me a slap. We perhaps are conscious about poison put to our food, which goes to your body. Are we conscious about poison which is going to our mind? Your WhatsApp, your Facebook, your media, everything, your people, your friend, your people in surrounding keeps you giving lot of negative things on a daily basis. Are you conscious that these are all negative things and my brain should be shut for all these things? Perhaps none of us is as conscious. And that's why minds are becoming negative. So that's where one most important point to train your mind to super consciousness is to stop all those negativities from whatever source entering your mind. And second point in today's world, which is very common for professionals, for doctors, and maybe I'm very sure for CAs, is when you are into peak of your career at the age of 45, 50, you start getting surrounded by a negative inner feeling that is getting stuck. Many doctors who come to me, many chartered accountants who come to me say only one thing, डॉक्टर साला ये पता नहीं बोर हो गया जिंदगी से, बस कहीं फंस गया हूँ, जिंदगी का मजा नहीं आ रहा है, पता नहीं प्रैक्टिस इतनी है, लाखों करोड़ों रुपए कमा रहा हूँ, नीचे इतना स्टाफ है, everything is there, but still I don't feel happy. That is because everybody feels getting stuck at that stage, and that is where you need to give a change to your life. So that's very, very important point. So you need to understand what are the killers of mind and what are the supports to mind. Stress, negativity, same kind of lifestyle, they all are killers to mind, while exercise, humor, meditation, music, creativity, being with natures, they all are supportive to mind. Meditation is one art which can not only help your physical and mental health, but spiritual health also. There are various ways of meditation, but basically, yoga or meditation means yoke. What is that? Union. You can reunite your mind, body, and spirit. If you go back to the beginning of my lecture, that's where I said health is purity of body, mind, and spirit. We need to make them united through by various ways. Meditation is not only to go from this world to some other world. No, meditation is to live this life very happily with lot of productivity, with lot of josh, lot of zunoon, and to keep being relevant for years and years. So don't take meditation as a practice which is adopted by so many sadhus and saints. It's a practice to be adopted by every person who wants to live life very happily. And it gives you tremendous things: concentration, relaxation, improves job performance, human relationship, everything. It's not only blood pressure, diabetes, and heart attack, which you can avoid by meditation. You can live a whole better lifestyle. Again, I'm very happy somebody was discussing about Jainism, and I personally strongly believe in that. And we all know that. And we need to understand whether it is happiness or disease, there are two things about them which is very important. They all originate within. So you feel that they are coming from external source, but they come from within. It is all those your negativities of within, and they are inconsistent state. So that's why that is what is well said is, जो दुनिया को जीतता है वो वीर है, जो खुद को जीतता है वो महावीर है. That's where we need to win over all these inner enemies which we have. A very important point is one should have a sound sleep to live a happy and fit life. And there are so many contributors to sleep. And one of them is how the day is passed. If you control how the day is passed with positivity, with a lot of vigor, with good relationship, with smile, I'm pretty sure your sleep will improve. And how do you deal with your life in last 2 hours of your day? If you sleep at 10:30, 11, how do you deal with your time between 8:30 to 10:30? That is most important. One thing which should be there is no big aggressive discussions and no screen. If you can avoid screen after 8:30 or 9 p.m., let me tell you, that is first most important step toward good sleep. Difficult. Again, story cannot end about fitness unless we discuss about sex. Unfortunately, in Indian society, it has been a very social taboo not to discuss sex. But let me tell you, though sex is very personal, but it has got physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual elements. And most of the people on this earth have said that it is the balanced sex life, a healthy sex life, which is very needed to live overall a fit and happy life. So ladies and gentlemen, coming to sort of end to my presentation, in spite of doing all this, one may fall sick. So accept that illness. See, human bodies are not immune to disease and death. Anybody who has accepted human body, may it be God, may it be spiritual, any kind of Atma, but once you adopt human body, disease and death will come to that. So in spite of doing everything, illness can come because it is multifactorial. And there are benefits of illness. If somebody might throw questions, but बहुत फायदे हैं. डिजीज, जब आप बीमार होते हो, वही तो सहनशीलता की पाठशाला है. जब आप बिल्कुल फिट होते हो, मस्त होते हो, आपका बॉडी एंड माइंड एकदम खुश है, तो वहां आपकी सहनशीलता की कसौटी नहीं होती है. जब आप बीमार होते हो, तभी आपकी सहनशीलता की कसौटी होती है. जब आप बीमार होते हो, तभी आपका इस शरीर से मोह कम होता है कि देयर इज समथिंग बियॉन्ड दिस बॉडी. जब आप बीमार होते हो, तभी सच्चे दोस्त कौन है उसकी परख आती है. जब आप एक फेसबुक पे कोई बड़ी सी चीज लिख देते हो, विद इन 1 आवर 300 लाइक्स आ जाते हैं. मगर एक बार आप बीमार हो तो देखो कि 300 में से कितने लोग आपके घर आते हैं, कितने लोग आपको फोन करते हैं. वही तो सच्ची दोस्ती की पहचान है. सो देयर आर सो मेनी बेनिफिट्स ऑफ इलनेस, बट वन नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट इलनेस हैज अ पर्पस इन लाइफ. And that's why to prevent illness, not only it is important to live a healthy lifestyle, but also at regular interval you should go for health checkup, because it's very important. Diseases are best prevented. And if required, you have to take medicines also. You have to undergo surgeries and operations also. They are not bad. When we talk about yoga and pranayama and lifestyle, many people start thinking that medicines and surgeries are bad. No. Everything has got relevance. Everything has got its use, but we have to use all the weapons at the right time in proper way. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a commitment to live a fit and happy life. That's why it's very, very important. Don't think about how the situations are. To live a fit and happy life is a conscious choice. बाहर के जगत में कुछ भी हो, मुंह से स्वस्थ रहना है, मुंह से खुश रहना है. That should be a choice. Get up with gratitude. Every morning when you get up, thank God. क्योंकि हर रोज 1 लाख लोग ऐसे हैं पूरे इस धरती पे जो आज सोए और कल सुबह नहीं देखते हैं. आप और हम उस 1 लाख में नहीं आए, उसके लिए भगवान का शुक्रगुजार हो. Make a time planning, very important for all professionals. You cannot live without time planning. Make a time planning. Food, exercise, meditation, part of life. Good hobbies, very important. Give and take help easily. Don't hesitate to help people. Just throw your help, and on the reward, also ask for help. It is important because we are humans. We need help. Practice profession as a prayer. It's not just profession because it is 8 or 10 good productive hours of day. So maybe our 1/3 plus, or maybe more than 50% of productive time is passed after profession. So unless we make that profession holy and spiritual, we cannot go for a good life. So it's very important to leave profession as a prayer, reward God by giving back to society, feel secure, and sleep with satisfaction. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll be open to take any questions or suggestions or comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I think before I request Sarthak to give a formal vote of thanks, I would just like to add one thing about what you said, that sir does not use WhatsApp. You know, when as you said, less screen time. Sir, most of our screen time is currently consumed during WhatsApp and all those social media. So that is one thing that we will always learn from you, to have a less use of social media. And sir, we also have one challenge coming up in the coming weeks, which will be on less use of social media before you sleep. So I'm sure, sir, as you said, we are going to follow that as a challenge also. And second thing that it really touched me is practicing your profession as a prayer. You know, doing that kind of sincerity that you told, sir. Again, thank you so much, sir, for joining today. It was a wonderful session. Sarthak, if you can just give a formal word of thanks, and if you have any questions, you can take that also, Sarthak. Thank you. You need to unmute.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
So I would like to formally thank Dr. Anish Chandrana to grace us with this presence on this Sunday morning and give such an amazing session. So while we are mostly focused on financial health, I would like to thank sir for throwing light on our physical health and our cardiac health in particular. One thing that struck me, what sir said, is immunity is the way you live, and it cannot be achieved by taking a pill. So in this time of COVID, I think that is something that we can take away from this. In one session, sir has managed to guide us about health, cardiac health, diabetes, stress, what to include in the diet, what not to include, and many much more points. It was an extremely informative and a well-rounded presentation. And I thank you, sir, for making our Sunday morning, guiding us for a healthier and a better lifestyle.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you. There is one point I see in chat box, that what helps to increase good cholesterol, that is HDL. So there are 2-3 things HDL can be increased. Number one, very regular exercise. So at least 6 days a week exercise for 60 minutes. That's where your HDL can increase. Number two, those who are obese, lose weight and your HDL will increase. Those who are normal weight, they need not lose weight because their HDL is optimized. Third, if you go to diet, you have to eat diet which is more in unsaturated fatty acids. That is, if you go to the vegetable kingdom, it is badam, pista, akroot, even such seeds, flax seeds, etc. And if you go to non-veg kingdom, it is fish. So those who do regular exercise, those who are obese lose weight, and nuts and fish, those who eat. So these are the 3 ways to optimize your HDL cholesterol. But most of the part of HDL cholesterol comes as a genetics. So in spite of doing all this, whatever level you can reach, that is something you can reach, because we Indians have overall low level of HDL. So, but do your best, because increasing 1 milligram HDL will reduce the risk of heart attack by 3. So it's 1 के सामने 3 मिलता है, वो बहुत काम की चीज है. तो 1 मिलीग्राम की, जैसे आज मेरा 30 HDL कोलेस्ट्रॉल में, उसको 40 तक भी ले गया तो my risk of heart attack is reduced by 30%.
Sir? Yes, thank you. Thank you
Another
so much,
question,
sir.
for controlling blood pressure, what should be done?
Perfect. So again, as I discussed, you should minimize salt and sugar in your food. You should optimize your weight. You should do regular exercise, And very important point for blood pressure is pranayam and mental relaxation. See, at least 2 pranayams can be done by everyone. That is Anulom Vilom and Bhramari. Because Kapalbhati, Brastika, they are little vigorous pranayams and sometimes they can do wrong to people who have got existing heart disease. But Anulom Vilom, 10 to 15 easily in the morning, 5 to 8 Bhramari in the morning if you get time in evening. So pranayam, regular exercise and taking care of that will help you a lot to control your blood pressure. But again, as I said, blood pressure or any disease is multifactorial. So what you can correct by your lifestyle, yes, correct it by lifestyle. It can always help you either to control blood pressure without medicines, or sometimes it can help you to reduce number of medicines. So there are people who take 3 medicines for blood pressure. When they start doing this after 6 months, their requirement of medicine will go down. So it helps in all the ways.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
We have any
I
other
think
questions, Sarthak?
Questions?
We don't have any other questions?
No, sir. You
Okay,
can.
okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
From
you.
all of us
Thank you.
here, thank you for joining in today and giving such an enriching session. And we are
Thank
so
you.
honored to have you here. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. I enjoyed a lot and wish you all the best. And you all are doing very good activities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much, sir. And to all the participants, I think we had a wonderful Sunday morning sessions. We had 2 very good sessions. And now, as we said, we are all committed on time. It's 11:30 and we will just stop it right now. The rest information will flow in the group. Today, we are going to share the No Sugar Week PDF, the PPT that has been prepared in the group. And from next week onwards, we are going to follow this No Sugar Week challenge in the full spirit. So thank you once again for joining in. And those who have yet not got the link for the main group, you can send contact us to any one of us and we'll help you register. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.